So we will see what is object-oriented programming, and these are the benefits of object-oriented programming, which is encapsulation, abstraction, inheritance, and polymorphism. We'll see each in details. And object-oriented programming, the main advantage is it models the real world. Okay, like suppose you are writing a software for a car. Okay, so let's take a car, and what we can do is we can treat this car as an object. Okay, and the car has certain properties. Okay, and for the car we have to do some functions. Okay, so it has some properties, right? It has some properties like tire pressure, properties like color, properties like length, height. So these all are properties of the car, and there will be some functions for the car. We call it as methods. Some function for a car like start, stop. Okay, and you can have many functions. Okay, now in object-oriented programming, you treat this car as an object. Okay, and you combine both these properties and the method in one unit. Okay, you use class to combine both properties and method. Okay, in structural programming you use structure, right? Struct car you use, right? And here we have only properties. Okay, you will have int type, okay, character array, color. Okay, so something you will have like this. So in the structural programming you can have only the property, but in object oriented programming you can have both properties and method in one unit, right? So this kind of putting both property and method in one capsule, right, that is called encapsulation. Okay, so the advantage is it reduces the complexity. Okay, and it increases the reusability of the code. If you were put it in one unit. If you see here, this is a car class, and you have car ID, some distance, some two properties are there, and two functions are there. So both property and functions are put in one unit. Okay, these data are declared public, which means these data can be accessed outside the class. If it is public now, it can be accessed outside. Okay, we can also declare this public. Instead of public, you can declare it private. If it is private now, we cannot access it outside the class. So since this is public, okay, you can create an object for a class. How you create an object for a variable for a structure? For car class, you are creating an object, and you can access the variable using the dot operator, and you can assign the values. And similarly, you can call the function using the dot operator. That object dot, you can call the function. Okay, and you can pass values here. Okay, now suppose if instead of this, if you put this as private, instead of public, if you have private, and usually the functions are public. Okay, usually call the functions outside the class. Instead of public, if you put it private, you cannot access the fields like this. This will give a compilation error. So you can hide your implementation. You can hide your properties to the outside world. Okay, outside world can only call your functions. So you are hiding your properties, right? This is called data hiding or abstraction. Okay, that is the second benefit of object oriented programming. You are hiding. Suppose Maruti creates a car class, right? Maruti doesn't want to show others what are the properties its car has. So all the properties can be declared private, and others cannot access the property. This is data hiding. Now next is, what is inheritance? Inheritance is, suppose you have a car class, okay, and then you have some properties like length and with all these things, okay, a lot of properties and lot of functions are there, like void, start, some functions are there. Okay, now this is car class car. Now Hyundai company wants to create a class for Hyundai car, and Maruti wants to create a class for Maruti car. Okay, so for this Hyundai car also you will have length, tire, all these things, and some functions are common. Hyundai car also has to start, Hyundai car also has to stop. Similarly for Maruti, it will have length. So there are some data and method property which are common to all this, right? So again you have to put length here, right? If you declare like this, you have to put length here. So instead of doing this, you have this length. Instead of doing this, what you can do is you can inherit the car class. How to do that? In Java, you have to use extends. Class Hyundai extends car, and class Maruti extends car. Okay. Once you do that, if you create an object for Hyundai, from Hyundai object you can access car variables also, car fields also, because it is already inherited. So what is the advantage? You need not write the code again, you need not write the function for start again, it is already there in car, and you need not write the function for stop here separately. So you are reusing the common code. That is the main advantage of inheritance, code reusability. Okay, let's see how to implement it. See here we have a class CFG, okay, and this is one thing. Okay, see here you have class animal, okay, and then there is a property name is there, and dog is also part of animal, so it inherits animal, and cat also inherits animal. Okay, and dog has a specific property called color, and this has some own specific property called pattern. Okay, in the main function you create an object for dog. Okay, so here when you create an object, you have to use, in Java you have to use this new operator which allocates memory dynamically for this object. Okay, now for the dog you don't have any name property, but you are still using the name property because you have inherited from animal, and animal has a name property, and that you are assigning, and pattern you are assigning, right? Color you are assigning, and you call the bark function, this function will be called. Okay, and you can also call the run function, because run function is in the parent class. When you inherit, this animal is called parent class and this is child class. Okay, so the main advantage is code reusability. You need not declare the name again here, you need not do this, because all the animal runs. You need not have this run function separately in dog and cat class. Okay, so this is the advantage of inheritance. Next is polymorphism. Okay, poly means many, morph means forms, many forms. Okay, so you can have many functions with the same name. Okay, so there are two concepts here. One is method overloading and method overriding. Okay, so polymorphism means many forms. Okay, you have compile time polymorphism and runtime polymorphism. Okay, so let's see what is polymorphism. See, in this object oriented, in this C++ program, you have three functions with the same name. Okay, so how you can have, because one kind of function argument is float, other function argument is integer, other function has two arguments. So their prototype is different. Okay, so see, because of that we can have many functions with the same name. Okay, now when you call the output, right, which function has to be called? It is decided in the compile time. This is called overloading. Okay, so which function to call? Because when the compiler compiles itself, it knows A is an integer, so this function has to be called. When compiles, it knows that B is a float, so this has to be called. For this one, it has two arguments and it knows this function has to be called. So which function has to be called? If it is decided in the compile time, then it is method overloading. If you take this example, there are two classes. One is class plant, it has a function grow, and second class is tree, it extends plant. Okay, and see this, you have the same function here. Okay, so this function overrides the parent class function. So this is overriding. Okay, but here you see there is no difference in the prototype. Both the prototype are same function name in parent class and child class. Okay, you have an annotation at override. Okay, now if you see here, I create an object for plant and I create an object for tree. Okay, there is one more object that I am assigning the child class here. Child class object I am assigning to the parent class. Okay, now you are calling grow. Now which function, which grow will be called? There is one grow in plant, there is one grow in tree. Okay, so when you call grow, which grow will be called? Here tree grow will be called because tree object is assigned to this. Okay, so this is called overriding, and which function is going to call decided in the runtime based on what type of object is assigned. So this is called function overriding. So these are the benefits. Encapsulation, which is putting both data and function in one unit, it helps to reduce complexity and increases the reusability. Abstraction, which hides the data from the outside world. If you declare a variable as private, it hides the data, so it reduces the complexity. Okay, it isolates the impact of change. Others cannot change the data easily. Okay, second is inheritance, where you can use the common code. You can inherit from a class and you can use a common code, so it eliminates redundant code. You need not it helps in code reusability. Okay, next is polymorphism. Okay, so that is many forms. You can have many functions with the same name. Okay, if the which function to get called, if it is Z in the compile time, it is called static polymorphism, and the function this is called method overloading. If the which function is to be called, if it is decided in the runtime, it is called dynamic polymorphism, and that is called method overriding. It helps to it helps to write the code neatly, like it helps to avoid multiple switch cases.